Finally, the Outlaw Nation show has come back to the Outlaw Nation channel. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it works. At the Rocha says so. Therefore, it is done. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another brand new episode of the Outlaw Nation show. I know it took 4 weeks off. I took a hiatus. You know, transitioning into doing my own channel, it's been a bit exhausting, testing me, pushing me to the limits. And I've had to take some nights to myself. Last week, I could have done the show. Instead, I decided to go on a bike ride for a couple of hours just to clear my head. Last week was a bit of a rough week for me emotionally and personally. Don't mind admitting that. And I had to kind of do a little self-care. And ain't nothing wrong with that. And I know you all can understand that for sure. But I appreciate you coming on back and hanging out with me live here on the Outlaw Nation channel, on the Outlaw Nation show. As we go along, please remember to hit that like button. And if you're watching this later, always remember to leave a comment. Leave 10 comments. I don't give a shit. Leave all the comments you want. Luis Sanchez loves to leave comments as the show goes along. I don't know if I want a bunch of that, but certainly if the spirit moves you and you want to leave a comment, well, I appreciate that madly. Don't forget to follow me at the Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram if you haven't done that yet. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell button. You know, we crossed 17,800 just a few hours ago, and now we're already almost up to 17,850, marching closer to that 18,000 mark. You know, we want to cross that 20,000 mark sometime before the end of this year. So please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and hit that bell button, do me a favor and do so now as you're listening to the sound of my voice. Good to see you all hanging out with me tonight. Good to see Tushka in here, Maria in here, Space Windu, Sean rolling up in here as well, producing the show. Brennan Mars in here, Darren's in here, Kevin Merten is in there. I appreciate it. He's doing calculus. Wow, doing calculus and watching the show. Check out the big brain on Kevin, everybody. Yikes, doing calculus and hanging out with the show. I appreciate it. Well, tonight we're going to have a little fun because I busted out literally old Uncle Ernest 1884 whiskey that I got from, what was that show? Without Remorse. Some people remember that movie, Without Remorse. It starred Michael B. Jordan, if you know what I mean. And so I thought I'd have a little fun, pour it in the old Coke here, and then mix it up and enjoy our evening. We're going to talk a little bit about CinemaCon. We're going to talk a little bit of footage and news that came out from CinemaCon. Also, we're going to get into some of the reactions to Ghostbusters Afterlife, some of the comments from Whoopi Goldberg talking about cancel culture. My Twitter battle today, apparently for 2.5 hours. I was trying to watch The Protege, but I was too busy battling my friends on Twitter about Thanos versus the Avengers and Avengers Endgame. Maybe we'll rehash that old debate and see what you all think about it. But I finally got through. The Protege. It took me 4 hours to finish an hour and 40-minute movie because I kept pausing to drop my tweets and then answer phone calls and handle some other business. Some of you may not know, but I was in a car accident a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, hit from behind by a young kid. He just revved up his SUV right up into the back of my car. And damaged the back bumper. Finally got around to calling Geico about it today to make sure they took responsibility, which they did, and they're fixing the back bumper. But my own back's been a little bit tricky since then. So they told me it's been 2 weeks. You should have gone to the doctor by now. So I may need to go tomorrow and have them take a look at it. But in the morning, I'm going definitely to get the car taken care of. So that's going to be a positive. But I'm doing good. I'm hanging out. This is really cool. Really enjoying all the people who are watching all the stuff I dropped over the last 24 hours. Certainly the Shang-Chi trailer is over 2,000 views. And I know the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer reaction is almost at 8,000 views, which is great. And tomorrow we're dropping the Geek Buddies episode. I'll give you a little preview of that. We're going to be just talking about 2 things on the Geek Buddies episode. Normally we do 3 news items and then a main topic. Well, today this episode of the Geek Buddies is split into 2 sections. The first section is the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. All 3 of us talking about it, seeing what we got out of it. And then the second section is our non-spoiler Shang-Chi review. So you'll be able to enjoy both of those tomorrow. I think I'm dropping around 12, and you can enjoy that then. I'll do the review for Protege, drop it tomorrow as well, and also record a trailer reaction for that new Netflix series that dropped, not dropped, but is coming out and they did a trailer for, I think so, Maya and the Three, I think is what it's called. I can't wait to take a look at that one and have some fun with it. I tweeted back to Jorge Gutierrez how much I really enjoyed that trailer. So I recorded the trailer reaction. I'm going to drop it in the morning tomorrow. Those are things that are going on here so far this week. And I just got Candyman. So I got the link for Candyman because they were going to do a screening here in town. And it's a combo of fans and press screening. And the truth is, the last time I went to a fans and press screening, I was huddled in the back of the theater because it was a packed theater, and I just did not want to catch that Delta variant. It was a very uncomfortable experience seeing Snake Eyes in that manner. I do appreciate being invited to the screenings, press and fans or otherwise, but I also got to take care of myself. And so right now with that Delta variant, I've been able to escape catching anything so far. So I'm doing the best I can to kind of keep it at bay if I can. And certainly I'm looking forward to seeing Candyman. So I'll find out when I can drop my reaction, social media reaction to it. It's quick 90 minutes. So I'm going to have some fun watching it tomorrow at some point and then drop my review for it as well. Also, Vacation Friends. I got the link for Vacation Friends, the John Cena film. Looking forward to seeing that. See if it'll be any good. Yes, Candyman. Will it be sweet or sour? That should be the name of the title of the review. Sweet or sour? You decide here. So Dalton says Candyman is amazing. Saw it last night. Hey, Dalton, don't big time us. Don't big time us. Don't big time me on my own show. I'm glad you got to see it. Congratulations, kid. But this is the Outlaw Nation show. We'll talk about the movies when I see them, not when you see them. I just want to make sure that's clear to you, Dalton Johnson. There we go. Fan screening in Dallas. Yeah, exactly. There's a fan screening last night or maybe tonight here in town. Yeah, this is a cheers to everybody. This is my my whiskey and Coke mix. I love it. I love it. So yeah, we shall see if it's good or not. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to take a look at it and see what it's all about for sure. And we got some, as I said, we got some CinemaCon news that came through, but I want to remind you all, hey, Superchats and Streamlabs are open. This is the flagship show of the Outlaw Nation channel. I know I've been off for 4 weeks, but hey, could really use your support, love, and in the Streamlabs fashion, in the Super Chat fashion. You see the address right below this side, right below. There we go. The Streamlabs right below. I've got them up. If you want to ask a question about anything going on in the world of sports, in the world of entertainment, in the world of the Schmodown, in the world of life, feel free to ask anything you want to ask tonight. Let's have some fun. I'm drinking some whiskey. I'm in a good mood. So let's have a little fun tonight as we go for the next couple of hours and talk about all kinds of things. Aaron Klister donated already. Thank you, Aaron. Follow his example. Already donating a Streamlabs. He says, I'm holding my 8-month child to sleep and watching the Outlaw live with a glass of chocolate milk. Respect. Is this bliss? Feels like it. It feels like it, especially after my first team win in the Outlaw Nation League. Love you, Outlaw. You're the best, sir. Love you, Aaron. Thank you very much. And congratulations on your team win. Always important. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Outlaw Nation Patreon has an Outlaw Nation movie trivia league. You have to be a patron for 3 months, and then you qualify to play because you got to show your dedication to the Outlaw Nation first, and you can qualify to play in the Outlaw Nation Trivia League. We got singles, we got teams, we got IG, all of it. A lot of fun that we're putting together behind the scenes, but you only play if you're a patron. So it's a behind the paywall, and you get to watch the matches live. I think they do them live there for everybody to watch. And every once in a while, I'll jump in. Every once in a while, I'll call something. Every once in a while, I'll participate even. It's a lot of fun. So just letting you know, if you are not part of the Patreon, you should go be part of the Patreon. Patreon.com/John Rocha. So much happening there with the hangouts, the watch-alongs. The whole crew there in the Discord hangs out till late at night, sometimes till 4 a.m., talking about life, talking about movies, talking about entertainment, talking about the world. And it's a place that is not toxic, drama-free. Everybody's very accepting of each other. Even when they get on each other's nerves, they're still very accepting of each other, create space for each other. So it's a fantastic place to be. I love hanging out with them. Last night was a full house on the hangout with them. So that was a good time. And of course, I'll probably see them tomorrow night or Thursday night for the on-camera Zoom hangout that we do as well. So 2 hangouts a week. But a couple of my patrons and I, Maria and Sean, we've kind of worked out a new new set of tiers to be dropping. I think we're going to drop them September 1st to encourage people to come be a part of it. Maybe a little bit before September 1st, people come be a part of it. It's going to be a lot of fun, that's for sure, being a part of that. So, all right, J-Dog says, No Time to Die will be released October 8th. That's right. Will you be going invited to a screening? Also, what's the longest embargo you have experienced? Wow, that's a good question. October 8th, yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely find a way to get invited to a screening. You know, they've been really great down here, the publicists. They've been really great at getting me into stuff here in San Diego. So hopefully they'll be able to do that. And today I emailed them and I was like, hey, I'm hearing all this stuff going on with Ghostbusters Afterlife. Do we have a screening coming to San Diego? And they're like, dude, calm down. Dude, calm down. That was at CinemaCon. It was a surprise screening. It was not in LA. So I was like, all right, that's fine. But, they're really great at taking care of me, getting me into things. I've seen just about everything that is coming out. And I get sent links for stuff, which is great as well. Love getting the links and being able to watch stuff here at the house. I've set up the room so I can enjoy watching stuff here in the office and not even have to leave the office, only to come out occasionally and give the Lady Outlaw a kiss or something. That's for sure. But yeah, I'll definitely find my way to see that one, J-Dog. People said there was an extended a scene that they showed at CinemaCon, and a lot of people said this was correct what they did by holding off on this movie until it could be released in theaters, because apparently that scene was insane and dazzling. So I'm looking forward to it finally getting the chance to see No Time to Die. Well, I mean, and it's not going to be that long of an embargo because it's not like I saw the movie a few months ago. So, but longest embargo, I don't know. Maybe Avengers Endgame. I mean, the Shang-Chi one is pretty long. 2 weeks. That's pretty long. Usually it's like a week out or a few days before. So Shang-Chi is pretty long. They have to wait this long. I mean, we were able to drop the non-spoiler review yesterday, but the movie doesn't come out till like next Friday. So we got a ways to go before that movie comes out for sure. Let's see here. Simon Section says, as a son of a father that has been paralyzed for the past 30 plus years, please have your back looked at. Oh, thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely, Simon. I will go take a look at it. I have to go through the urgent care because our doctors down here in San Diego, man, it is like a lesser number of doctors for a more amount of people. So like my girlfriend couldn't get in to see a doctor for 2 months. So it gets crazy down here in San Diego. And she switched us over a PPO, whereas HMO, I think I would have seen my doctor like this afternoon. But at PPO, you got to wait like a month or so to get seen. So, those are easy ones. Roberto also says, Rocha, you didn't go to Raw in San Diego last night? Fuck no, Roberto. Are you kidding? If there's one place I'm not going to go, it's a place full of red state people not wearing their masks and not vaccinated in an enclosed area. You're insane. No fucking way would I be going to anything like that. Hell no. I mean, I'm barely trying to talk myself into going to see a Chargers game here this year because it's I can validate it because it's an outdoor arena, but in no way was I going to an indoor arena with people like that who probably weren't vaccinated or weren't going to be wearing their masks. No, thank you. That ain't my jam, my man. But I appreciate you asking if I went because we want to cover all the stuff that we covered there on the Strong Style on Saturdays, and of course CM Punk coming back. Massive news with CM Punk coming back. We talked about that this past weekend. If you haven't listened to that episode, it's up on the Outlaw Nation channel as well. I think the first hour of the show is us talking about CM Punk coming back and the comments that were made by Roman Reigns about CM Punk. So it's a good conversation for sure. Let's see here. All right, so let's get into some of the things here. Let's see, we got more Streamlabs. Oh, Justin Toner. Sorry, I got Smithy first. Thank you, Alan. Alan Smithy says, hey, Outlaw. I've been having a blast in the Outlaw Nation Trivia League. That's awesome. Aaron and myself are the AA Shades, and we won our first team match. Congratulations. Love hanging with the Ultimate Schmodown After Show as well. Hope to see it at a live event in the future. Yeah, probably in the future at some point. Who knows? I'm coming to the end of the road, the end of the trail, and so maybe I'll be showing up at a live event just to say goodbye to everybody or shake hands or whatever once I finally make a final decision about what I'm going to do with my career. Whoa, Andrew Hale. Holy shit, Andrew Hale. Thank you very much. Whoa, Andrew. He said, hey, John, longtime fan. I know. Thank you. Ha, welcome back. Enjoy this nice donation. I've been away because of some military stuff, but now I'm back home. Much love to you all in the Outlaw Nation family. Can't wait to start talking movies again with you all. Andrew, we've missed you. you were such an important part of building up the Discord here in the channel and being a part of the Patreon as well. So, Andrew, it's great to have you back. I'm glad you handled your military stuff. Glad I was able to help in some small way. But, brother, that's a very, very kind donation. I mean, you just made my night. Thank you so much, Andrew. It's very, very kind of you. And we missed you, and we can't wait to talk movies with you. It's going to be fun to hear your voice again in the Discord, going back and forth and having your opinions about everything going on in the world of movies. So this is awesome. Thank you very much, Andrew. I appreciate it, my man. Justin Toner here as well. Justin, he says, hi, John. Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies. So hearing the good buzz out of CinemaCon on the Afterlife screening gives me hope for a good movie. Fingers crossed. WB stuff from the con tonight sounds pretty wild. Wish I could have some whiskey and Coke. Yeah, there you go, son. Whiskey and Coke, doing a little late night drinking. Lady Outlaw is going to bed early tonight because we got a puppy tomorrow. We're going to take care of all day. I got a big busy day tomorrow, man. I got so much to work on, and we're doing Cinephiles. We've got some special guests who are joining us. We're going to be tackling Master and Commander Far Side of the World, so a lot's going to be going on there, and so much is going on in my world, doing all the things that we're doing. I hope you all listened to the new Top 10 show we dropped earlier today in honor of Candyman coming out. We dropped the top 10 horror movie characters ever. So, I know we're not the biggest horror guys, but our opinion still matters. So we recorded a top 10. It's out on the Top 10 YouTube channel and out on the Top 10 podcast feed for those of you who subscribe to the podcast. And if you don't subscribe to the Top 10, why don't you? We're still going strong. 5-6 years since the show started, we're still doing our thing and having a lot of fun. I would think, Matt, it feels like Matt and I have found a new life on the show over the last few weeks. So if you haven't been listening and you've been kind of, they seemed a little bored or whatever, trust me, come on back. We're having a really good time with it now and kind of playing games with it. It's a great time. So here, cheers. Cheers to everybody. Oh, that's sweet. God damn, that's sweet. All right, here we go. Where are we at? Here we go. Oh, Justin said, Maria and I won our team's match this weekend in the Outlaw Nation League. Tonight we had the IG title match. It was great. Come join the fun. See, there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Come see the fun, absolutely, in the Outlaw Nation Trivia League. That's part of being a patron, rather. You get to be part of that and hang out with us and have some fun and answer trivia questions and battle your own people. And it's so fun. No fucking drama. None of that nonsense you've been seeing this year and in the main league, all that stuff. The Outlaw Nation League is very chill. No drama, no toxicity, a lot of fun. Nobody saying crap about each other behind their backs. Nobody trying to upset each other or accuse each other of some nonsense. It's very chill. No one going after one competitor. It's all chill, man. And I respect that. And everyone's really cool and they're having fun. And it's a great time. It's an absolutely great time. So, and I got a couple of compliments from people who've been on the show lately, including Michael Vogel and the Geek Buddies. Like Michael said to me the other day, we were talking about someone, I guess we were there at the Shang-Chi, we're having dinner and stuff. We were talking about how Michael likes to go into the comment section every once in a while, like leave those messages for people or respond to people's posts. He's like, I'm telling you, I've never seen a more positive environment on YouTube. Like there is rarely any kind of shitty, negative, argumentative comments in a comment section on any of the Outlaw Nation shows. And I'm like, yeah, that's on purpose because we don't breed that kind of shit here. You can have differences of opinion. You can have a strong opinion, but you got to be respectful and respect the other person's point of view at the end of the day. So we appreciate that. And everybody's pretty cool about that from what I've seen. Yeah, the drama stays in Canada. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I like that. That's very funny. Let's see here. What else we got? Okay. All right. Those are all the Streamlabs and Super Chats for now. Please keep them coming, folks, as we go along, answering your questions and talking about everything that's going on in the world of entertainment. So let's start with the CinemaCon stuff. All right. So here are some of the news that broke. We'll get to the Ghostbusters Afterlife in just a second or a little bit. But first, this is from the Hollywood Reporter. It's called the Hot Shot, or rather Heat Vision. And so here are some of the things that dropped over Comic-Con today. Warner Brothers showed off some clips from its upcoming slate, including the first trailer from the newly titled The Matrix Resurrection. So the first trailer was shown there. I don't know when they're going to drop it. Are they going to drop it tomorrow? Are they going to drop it I don't know when they're going to drop it, but I will be ready to do a trailer reaction once they drop it because I have been looking forward to this one. I don't know about anybody else, but I've been looking forward to the Matrix trailer. Definitely coming out really, really soon. And they've released the title for this movie, for this fourth installment in the Matrix franchise. That's what I was trying to say. It's called The Matrix Resurrections. How do you feel about that? I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. The Matrix Reloaded didn't work. The Matrix Revolution didn't work. Now the Matrix Resurrection. So this is one of the Wachowski sisters. The RE name, Matrix RE something. It doesn't instill any confidence in me. I'll be honest with you, because this feels almost, by naming it this, you're almost stubbornly saying, I'm going to keep going down this path that I was going on with Reloaded, with Revolution. So now we're back to Resurrections. And obviously we're hearing that we're getting a young Morpheus, an older Neo, an older Trinity, obviously, because they've aged since the last Matrix film. So I'm not 100% sold on that title. Do you guys like this title? Do you feel like it's too close to those two films that were not good? Does this make you happy? Yeah, I like this. Yeah. Matrix 4, Neo's back, bitches. Yeah, I'm down with that. I like that idea. That's not bad for sure here. I dig on that. But yeah, I mean, Matrix Revolution. Yeah, Revolutions is not good. So Resurrections, that doesn't. Yeah, I get resurrecting the franchise. Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. I hear you. But I mean, it's a little too on the nose, isn't it? Resurrections. I don't know. I'm hearing some stories that it's a pretty meta film. Like from the rumors I'm hearing, there's even a scene where like somebody is commenting about the Matrix movies while they're in this Matrix movie. So that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me. It makes me worried overall. And, you know, nothing against Keanu or Carrie-Anne Moss, who I love and respect greatly, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Josh Mabry says, might as well be Matrix redundant. Yeah, I mean, this is not a negative feeling to have. I think this is true. It just doesn't instill confidence in me, Matrix Resurrections. It just feels weird. Of course, it plays on the savior theme, right? Because Neo was the savior, and you know, when he died at the end of Revolutions, he's like basically in the crucifixion pose. So resurrection kind of implies that still religious pursuit or Jesus pursuit or savior pursuit or bent that they've had before. So I don't know. It doesn't instill me with a lot of confidence. I'll tell you that right now. I like this, the Matrix Revlon. I'm digging on the Matrix Revlon. I like that idea. Yeah. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's the Matrix. Chris Taylor says, instead of a movie, could the Matrix work better as a TV show? Absolutely, Chris. I could totally see it as a TV show. I think it would work exceptional as a TV show because you'd have more time to flesh out the world, and you can create a narrative that vacillates between the real world and the Matrix world. The Matrix world and the fake world, and mess around with that. Explore more about the machines. Explore more about what is like, who's in control, why are they in control. There's so much more you could explore when you turn it into a TV show. Look at 12 Monkeys. 12 Monkeys has quietly went strong for a few seasons. Todd Stashwick was one of the actors on there, and it got great reviews from the people who saw it. So I mean, it's a possibility to turn these sci-fi movies into shows that are effective and that work. Look at all the Star Wars TV shows we're getting. They all seem to be working for the most part. So why wouldn't you? Let's see here. Simon Section says, when the Animatrix is better than the last two sequels, we have a problem. That's for sure. The Animatrix was excellent. I'm waiting for them. Wait, did they release that in 4K? Was that part of the 4K collection? Was the Animatrix in that 4K collection? Oh, Sean's shaking his head no. So I guess we didn't get the Animatrix in the 4K collection. That's a shame. I bought the Matrix in 4K. I am not going to buy the other ones in 4K. Maybe if I had a way to kind of maybe download both versions in 4K and then I could splice them into one movie, all the scenes that I like, then maybe. Because I like obviously the highway scene in, I think Reloaded, I think is what it's called. And then in Revolutions, I do like the fight scene with the EMTs at the end, with the EMPs at the end, when they're fighting all those mechanical things, trying to fight them off with the EMPs and shoot at them as they're coming down through the hole there to Zion. I like that. I dig the fight. It's just everything around it with that dude and the mustache and the beard who's trying to play the agent, the Hugo Weaving part. I feel my own blood. I can taste my own. It was like it just was boring, just so fucking boring. So it kind of really disappointed me on so many levels. And then having the whole thing end with homie saying, "We've been doing this a few times now. This isn't anything new." Oh, great. I'm glad I wasted 6 hours of my life watching these 3 movies for you to tell me that we've been doing multiple Neos for a number of cycles now. What an absolute spit in the face of the fans I thought that ending was. So it's a shame, but we'll see. We'll see. What else came out? Also the Batman got some attention as well. Let me see if I've got this thing. Oh, wait. Let's talk about the trailer. Apparently there's a little bit of the trailer that's mentioned here. Oh, do I want to ruin anything? Yeah, I don't think I want to ruin anything. Actually, they're going in like beat by beat through the trailer. So no, we're not going to tell you that. Just know, the Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is in this thing, Neil Patrick Harris in this thing, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Keanu Reeves, of course. So yeah. All right, let's leave it at that. They apparently also, let's move on to the Batman. Apparently, they also showed a sizzle reel of the Batman, which comes exactly 1 year to the day after the first trailer debuted. I remember we were out of town, my girlfriend and I. We were taking a bit of a vacation out of town when that trailer dropped, and I remember like, I should do a trailer reaction, and I never did it. And you watched other people get like 100 million views off a trailer reaction. So not saying that I would have, but might have been good for the channel to do one in the hotel room and react to it. So now I'm reacting to things, certainly for sure I would have done that if it had dropped this year. But yeah, it's so you got Robert Pattinson obviously, but then Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner, Andy Serkis, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell, and Paul Dano. So Matt Reeves said that the film was partially inspired by Batman Year One. You guys remember that one from Frank Miller and Mazzucchelli. I can't remember. Is it David Mazzucchelli, I think? And Pattinson reflected on how his version of Batman is different. He said he's really working out this rage. All the fights seem very personal for Bruce Wayne. So, all right, interesting approach for sure. So we shall see if that ends up working. A lot of people have been pushing back at the idea of having, a white lead hero in a movie. If he's a vigilante and he's taking things personally and he's destroying people or beating people up in a personal way, what does that lead to? What's the price of that? Because obviously when you go down that route, there has to be a reaction or an opposite reaction to what you're doing. So will he incur the wrath of the underworld, incur the wrath of the police even, because he's making this a personal thing and he's working out his rage on these criminals. So very interesting. That isn't an aspect of Batman Year One. So I don't know. In Batman Year One, he's trying to figure out how to be a superhero, and he keeps stumbling and learning and failing, and it's trial and error throughout the whole series. And it's a great James Gordon. If you haven't read Batman Year One, the character of James Gordon, Batman Year One, is excellent. So much fun to follow along with and enjoy. And he's really good. I mean, the stuff with Flash, the stuff with his wife, all of that becomes a part of the Batman Year One as well. So I wonder how much of that is actually going to make its way in. Juicy. Yeah, in the end, Neo does break the cycle. Yeah, sure. Big deal. He broke the cycle. Big deal. By that point, though, when you shoot it down so hard, you don't see what's the point of the sequel. You don't see the point of him breaking the wheel if the wheel is going to get built all over again. Doesn't make sense. So, all right, we got another Streamlabs came in. Penguin Alex. Thank you, Penguin. He said, I 100% think Ratcatcher 2 is a heroin addict in Suicide Squad 2. I'd bet $1 that WB cut a scene where Bloodsport finds her gear, asks where she got it, and she explains Waller takes care of her. Thoughts? So that's an interesting theory, Penguin Alex. Certainly, she falls asleep a lot. And we saw her have more life in the flashbacks with her dad than she does when she's there throughout the whole movie. So it's certainly a possibility. I don't think they were going to let David Ayer go that far. It's like violence, cuss words, gore. That's all cool. The second you throw in heroes using drugs, it's a wrong message to send to the kids. And especially a hero who's got a cute little rat as as her buddy, you don't want her using drugs. I think that would be an issue for WB. So maybe there is something there and they cut it out. But I don't disagree with them cutting out, because it's a bad message to send to kids that you can function correctly on heroin and be just fine and save the day. That's not a good message to be sending to kids, because heroin is a pretty terrible drug, can really mess you up for the rest of your life. So you don't want to make it seem like, oh, it's cool, I can do this and still save the world and hang out with my little rat friend. That isn't a good message to be sending, for sure. So yeah, so it makes sense what you're saying. And maybe they did cut a scene out like that, but if they did, I think they cut it out for all the right reasons, my man. All right, Chris Taylor's in here as well. Chris Taylor saying the Batman will introduce the Court of Owls, in my opinion. Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors about them introducing the Court of Owls in this version of the Batman. Wouldn't be surprised if they do. I think they're trying to push everybody away from Long Halloween. We just got it in an animated format, right? Part 1 and 2. My friend Tim Sheridan from Florida State, we've had on the Geek Buddies. He's a personal friend of mine. He wrote those. So, maybe they're trying to kind of steer people away from that, because right now it's in an animated form for people to watch. So they're trying to focus on other parts of the movie, like Batman Year One. That's I think that's been out for a while as an animated film as well, but it's been a bit, so it's not taking any bit of the thunder away from it, for sure. Dalton says, come on, tomato meter approved critic. I don't know what that means, but yeah, thanks, Dalton. Let's see here. What Ambling is saying, Cheryl's right. Subscribe, like, and share, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, subscribe, like, and share here on the channel. Keep sending in your questions and your Streamlabs and your Super Chats. What do you want to talk about from the world of entertainment, about your life? Do you have stuff in your life that's keeping you down? Do you have stuff in your life that's like giving you a writer's block or creative block or whatever? Maybe you got some issues with the relationships, with family, with friends, with dating or marriage, whatever. Like, we're open to all of it here when we do the Outlaw Nation show. It's all on the table. You guys know what to expect. So any questions you got about that, any questions about the Schmodown, any questions about what we're doing here on the channel, anything going on in the world. I know Afghanistan is nuts. It's on everybody's mind. COVID, the Delta variant, masks, all of it. It's a nutty time right now out there in the world. So if you want to ask some stuff about it, you need to talk out some stuff about it, please don't hesitate to send in a Streamlab or a Super Chat to ask those questions. All right, let's see. Let's move on to, let's see, is there anything else that was dropped at CinemaCon? Let me go back and see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, with the James Bond. All right, so as I was saying, No Time to Die. MGM did a real presentation for all their stuff that they were dropping. And let's see here if I can find where the... let's see here. They talk about Joe Wright's period musical film, Cyrano, which I imagine is based on Cyrano de Bergerac. It's starring Peter Dinklage and Haley Bennett. So there was a bit of a first look at that. Because Roxanne, it's definitely that. And then there was a trailer for the release of Channing Tatum's buddy movie, Dog. Tatum is a wisecracking army guy entrusted with the care of a now vicious German Shepherd who was once a legend. The dog rips up seats and busts out of its cage and bunts Tatum on the head. You're just a demon. You're just a demon. They also showed a trailer for Sylvester Stallone's working class superhero movie, The Samaritan, about a hero in hiding. I'm a garbage collector, he yells at a young fanboy who has discovered him. You mind your business, I'll mind mine. Oh, interesting. I've been following Stallone on his social media. He's been working out really hard for this role. He's put some pictures up of his face all beat up. So clearly he's got to overcome some things to get to do what he's doing. So, and apparently the session closed with MGM because they also showed Ron Howard's 13 Lives, which comes out in April with Colin Farrell, Viggo Mortensen, and Joel Edgerton. There was a trailer for that. And Dr. Richard Harris. I don't know about that. All right. So anyway, and here's the James Bond stuff. Daniel Craig's. So it closed with an action scene from No Time to Die. Here's the description. Daniel Craig's 007 wakes up on a bridge, deaf. It looks like he's on a Roman aqueduct. A car comes at him, then a motorcycle, which he dodges. A glass-eyed guy is trying to assault Bond, which he fends off as he tells him about the daughter of Spectre, right? Isn't that the French actress's name. Damn it, it escapes me right now. I can't think of her. If you guys think of it, let me know. I forget Leah Seydoux. That's right, Leah Seydoux. Bond jumps on the cycle and takes it through the village. He comes through the hotel windows, yells at Leah Seydoux's Madeline Swan, smacks her in the face and says, "Spectre, how did they know that I'm here?" They hop in a fancy silver sports car. "There's something I need to tell you," she says. "I bet there is," snaps Bond. Christoph Waltz's Ernest Blofeld is heard on a recording in the car, further incriminating Swan. They get involved in a car chase through the village and take machine gun fire from a squad of shooters. The car withstands the damage. "James," Swan cries as Bond sits there with a cold-blooded look on his face. "Okay," he says, before initiating the car's machine guns and located in the headlights. The car chase continues before Bond peels out in front of the train station. So that was basically the scene that they showed there for No Time to Die. And everyone's going crazy about it on Twitter. So sounds pretty cool to me. I dig it. I don't like the idea of him smacking Leah Seydoux in the face. Really don't feel comfortable with that. But overall, it sounds like a fun action sequence and a cool action sequence, and one that's going to push Bond to the limit for sure. There's always people betraying Bond, right? Bond doesn't always have all the information, and he gets kind of smoked for it sometimes. They also showed a little bit more footage for House of Gucci. So that's cool. A lot of people liking that. That was a good trailer reaction for me. I think it was over 10,000 views on that trailer reaction. So, yeah, and Bond is coming out, like I said, October. So we'll put that down. Just getting ready to watch that one very soon here in the next few weeks. I hope there's a screening for it. I get a chance to go watch that. I can't wait to watch that one for sure. And Shang-Chi comes out next week, so September 3rd. Hope you got your tickets. I'm going to try to take the Lady Outlaw to a Thursday night screening on IMAX. So we can talk about it for the show on Saturday and have some fun doing it. Not this week, but next week. This week, we got Spider-Man Far From Home, the show we do on the Stereo app. If you don't have Stereo, you can download it and listen to us every weekend. But I'm about to find a way to hook Stereo up to the YouTube, connect it to the YouTube, so that people can watch the Stereo feed and see our mouths moving on the animated stuff. And that can be a separate feed as well. So I can check the chat in YouTube and the actual chat going on the feed. But we'll see, because the Ultimate Shimoda After Show is at the same time as our show. So we may need to push the time of our show or move our show to Sundays. We shall see. All right, Simon Section dropped another super chat here. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. Said, "Ratcatcher or a heroin addict? I thought she was just being lazy like me on my vacation. The Suicide Squad is an R-rated movie, which I know isn't a good excuse. However, some may argue that the super soldier serum is a drug." Yeah, but that's not an actual drug you can actually take in real life. There's the difference there, Simon. I think, if you were to show like a person on heroin doing great stuff, I mean, I suppose you can do that in an independent film, but not in a studio film like this. I think a lot of parents would have a real issue with that, and rightfully so. Maybe some groups as well, showing one of the main heroes, even though it's a Suicide Squad and they're all supposedly villains or break the laws or whatever, it still would look bad to have someone who's a hero of the piece and one of the main heroes of the piece being on heroin. So, that's a situation there. It's called HGH, Rocha. Yeah, sure it is. Appreciate that. All right, let's see if we got any more super chats that came through, or Streamlabs that came through. Nope, not yet. All right, well, keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate all the super chats. Streamlabs are preferred, but super chats are totally fine. But keep sending them in as we go along tonight. Really appreciate that madly. All right, let's move on to our next thing. Is there anything more to touch on from CinemaCon that I can see here? Anything more that was revealed? Let's see. Yeah, Warner Brothers said that although Warner Brothers went completely virtual at CinemaCon with a pre-recorded hour-long reel sans executives on stage, they said that going to the theater is simply in our DNA, and they wanted to reassure a lot of people about it. That was Jeff Goldstein, who's the domestic distribution president. And he said, going to the theater is simply in our DNA, and that will never change. That won't be replicated in any way. So kind of pushing back against what happened this year with HBO Max and them dropping day and date with their titles. Warner Brothers course corrected earlier this year. That's right. By announcing a commitment to a 45-day theatrical release on its 2022 event titles. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Shang-Chi does, because Shang-Chi comes out on September 3rd, and then 45 days later, it's going to be on Disney+. So How will that affect the box office? Will we get the same thing with Black Widow, where we have a great opening weekend and then, woo, a complete and utter a nosedive for the second weekend? We shall see. So, all right, let's see if there's anything else in here. Yeah, they showed some trailers for James Wan's Malignant, Will Smith's King Richard, and the Sopranos prequel, Many Saints of Newark, as well as a tribute piece to Clint Eastwood for Cry Macho that's coming out. Yes, I did a trailer reaction for that. That is up on the channel as well. All right, let's see here. Is that it? All right, that's it from Cinema. So let's move on to Uncharted was at CinemaCon as well. Uncharted, that's coming from Sony with Tom Holland in there. And there were clips, according to the reports, the clips unsurprisingly centered around the two heroes, Tom Holland's Nathan Drake, Mark Wahlberg's Sully, with one moment apparently showing Nathan going into a cave-like area, something that should come as no surprise to fans of the video game. I'm getting this from MovieWeb, just give them credit. Another slice of footage apparently showed Sully speaking to Drake and making him an exciting offer he can't refuse. I'm offering you a chance to find/discover things you've only read about. It's in a sequence that's probably near the beginning of the movie. They showed some adventure, some of the action as well, but not much was released other than that. So there you go for Uncharted. That's pretty cool. And yeah, Ruben Fleischer is at the helm of this when he did Zombie Land Double Tap. Yeah. All right, there you go. Just want to give you an update. All right, let's move on to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let's see what we got here. Oh, got some more super chats that have come through. Hold on. He said, Delta Johnson said, would you ever cover CinemaCon maybe next year? Yeah, if things calm down with the Delta variant, I will absolutely be working really, really hard to make connections with those movie festivals. I mean, I had an opportunity to go to TIFF. I had an opportunity to maybe apply because they were really looking for outlets of color run by people of color, and maybe I could have got my way into something like that, and they were offering mentors and things like that. So unfortunately, I just felt like it wasn't the right situation for traveling, especially going into Canada. Royco making me so scared about Canada and the Delta variant going on there. They're shutting down everything, so I just didn't want to risk catching anything at this point. As I said, I've been lucky to escape, so I don't want to catch anything. But yeah, I will absolutely make it a point to try to get at more festivals next year. If the outlet keeps growing, I can have more cachet to use to kind of like get invited to these things. I mean, I want to start building up to where they invite me to go to sets, and I haven't gotten there yet. So I'd like to start doing that again, because that was a lot of fun once we could travel again. Josh Mabry said, yeah, Requiem for a Dream was such an uplifting watch. I think they made the right decision to cut it. Yeah, Josh, that's a very good point. Oh man, I will never ever watch that movie again. Even for the cinephiles, I might never watch that movie. I might tell Steve to do it on his own if he does Requiem for a Dream. I got no desire to see that movie again, unfortunately. I know it's got great performances and all of that, but it is just too daunting of a movie. It fucks me up in ways that I don't really like or feel good about. So it's not a film I would totally watch for sure. Shane St. Laurent says, have you read the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood book? I just started it. I'm loving it. Oh, that's good to know, man. No, I haven't read it yet. I know it's out for people to read, so I will take a look at it when I can. But no, I haven't read it yet, but I'm excited to take a look at it and see if it's any good. Maybe I can get me a copy. If I can reach out to the producers or whoever makes them, maybe I can get me a copy. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm glad you're liking it, man. I've heard good things. I've heard a lot of good things about it. So, and just to let you guys know, I have got a mailbox. I've officially got a mailbox. I will get the address to you all, maybe on the next Outlaw Nation show. Certainly I'll start making a point of telling people the address on these shows so that people can start sending things. A lot of you have been saying you want to send stuff to support what we're doing here on the channel or to say thank you. Some of you have wanted to send stuff from the stereo show. I know Timothy Williams has said he wants to send stuff to us. So we finally got a mailbox that is not our house, but that can receive packages, can receive letters, gifts, whatever you guys want to send. So I will be letting you guys know, making an announcement about that very, very soon for sure. So yeah, and we'll do unboxings. Absolutely. If people send a bunch of stuff, we'll have fun doing unboxings on an Outlaw Nation show, which would be great, and give credit to everybody who sent stuff in. So that'll be a lot of fun for sure, man. So I will let you guys know what the address is once I lock all that down. But we definitely got a box. We just got to fill out the form and submit the form to them tomorrow sometime. So we shall see here. Yeah. Oh, Douglas says, yeah, she got robbed. Julia Roberts stole that Oscar. Yep. I don't disagree with you. I think it was for Brockovich. She won that, but like Ellen Burstyn was incredible in Requiem for a Dream. That was definitely people going, give it to the young girl. Give it to the young girl. I actually do believe, I agree with you, Douglas. I think Ellen Burstyn was better in that role for sure than Julia Roberts was in Brockovich, even though that was a good movie and she was good in it. Maybe the best Julia Roberts has ever done. But still, in the end, I think Ellen Burstyn should have won that. All right, let's see if we got any more Streamlabs before I move on. Oh, yeah, Scott Welsh. Thank you, Scott Welsh. He says, hi, John, following up on if you've watched McCartney 321. Yes, I watched the first 2 episodes, Scott. I'm definitely going to work my way back there. I kind of treated myself today. Usually, I try to make the weekends my time to relax, but lately, because of Saturday with the wrestling show and the stereo show, and then sometimes doing the Ted Lasso reviews, that has kind of fallen on top of itself. So my Saturdays become really busy. So Sundays are really the only day off that I have, and I want to kind of spend them with my lady doing whatever we want to do. So Tuesdays have become kind of like my day off. These Tuesdays, leading up to the Outlaw Nation show, have kind of become my day off. And today I watched ahead on Ted Lasso. I watched all the way up to episode 8 because they dropped. I'm not going to spoil anything because that's kind of the deal when they give you extra episodes. So I watched Ted Lasso season 2 all the way up to episode 8 because that's all they've released to the press. So I treated myself to that. But I work my way back to McCartney 321 and finish that off as well. I watched the first 2 episodes. To continue his Streamlab, he said, I loved when they'd isolate certain instruments and talk about recording it. Hearing Paul's bass playing on While My Guitar Gently Weeps or John's lead guitar and All My Lovin' were 2 of my favorite parts. Yeah, I agree with you, Scott. Absolutely. That was been a highlight of the first 2 episodes has been those moments in the studio when they're kind of isolating certain sections of the song. And it's pretty incredible, the technology that can do that now, that it can isolate a track. Because I don't think that was the way it was back then. So the fact they can isolate the tracks is really great to listen to how pure of a voice these guys had when they were singing. Because it gets lost in the music and all, and people going crazy about the Beatles. It gets lost. Their voices get lost for sure. And also the musicianship of each of them, you get to really appreciate when they're doing that and isolating the tracks, whether it's George playing guitar or Paul on the bass or John on the guitar or Ringo with the drums. It's great to see. My only complaint about it so far is that Rick Rubin doesn't seem as steeped in the Beatles mythology as I thought. And he comes off, or maybe this is the producer's ideas, or maybe Paul McCartney told them he only wants to talk about the most basic stuff, because we are getting some stories, but we're also getting some stories that a lot of us Beatle fans have heard numerous times before. And so I was hoping that there would be a deeper dive here, a more nerdy, technical, deeper dive into these McCartney episodes, where you got to hear more about the construction of these songs, the construction of these lyrics, and the musicianship of the guys and how they came up with who was playing what and who was doing what. I wanted a little more of that and a little more of the stories behind the songs, And sometimes Paul isn't always the best storyteller, because Paul always puts a positive spin on everything. And he was always like, yeah, man, dunk, and, we're feeling great and everybody's fun and it's all great and you're doing these things. And instead of someone going like, yeah, it was a shitty fucking day. John was an asshole. I went off by myself. I wrote some shit, or I was being a dick and too bossy. So John went off and wrote some shit. I was hoping for a little bit more of that instead of more of the glossing over, and that's what I fear the most about the Peter Jackson documentary coming out, where he's kind of poured over those Let It Be documentary film footage that's been shot. If the whole thing comes out and it's all rosy and nice, instead of exploring the real battles that were going on between them, not saying that you need to show a fully negative portrait of the Beatles, but show the truth, show everything, warts and all, both the positive and the negative. These are things that frustrate me sometimes in biopics or in films where you explore a band's life or a musician's life or an artist's life. Like, show me the good stuff and show me the bad, because that also helps people who watch these movies to understand these heroes, these icons, these idols of yours. They are just like you in terms of their emotions. Now, in terms of the talent, that's a separate conversation. But in terms of emotions, they can be just like you. So if you're a talented person, maybe you're not beating yourself up so much because you've got these certain instincts and you see it played out on the screen, and you don't beat yourself up to make yourself feel terrible about yourself. And you're more like, look, this is part of being an artist. Sometimes I have these moments. It's not saying we can excuse bad behavior. It's more a matter of like the people who get it don't get into a destructive cycle of putting themselves down over and over and over again, rather than just accepting the fact that this is part of the creative process to feel this way. Let me sit in this for a moment, breathe through it, and come out of it. So, that's my opinion on it all. So I would like to see a little bit more of a more rounded rather approach to the McCartney Beatles stuff in this documentary. But I'm only 2 episodes in. Maybe they get nerdier as they go along. I don't know. We'll see for sure. All right, let me see if we've got another Streamlabs or Super Chat that came through here. Simon Section says, believe it or not, the European unit version of Requiem for a Dream is more explicit. Holy shit, really? Yikes. Yikes. Because that end scene is fucking brutal, man. Just and the song, right? Just her lying there cuddling her drugs or cuddling her money, whatever it was, after what she does in that party for those bros. Oh man, that is a horrific ending. Like the whole ending is of everyone in the worst fucking state of existence that they can be in. It's just terrible. I mean, the 2 old ladies hugging each other, crying on the bench after they've put Ellen Burstyn in one of those rooms and she's just completely gone. Oh my God, it's horrific, that movie. Whew. Thanks for making me think about it, I think. Let's see. Dalton Johnson says, you mentioned this may be a daily show. Any update? Not yet, Dalton. I mentioned that last night, Dalton. What update do you want in 12 hours? Give me a break, guy. I'm trying to put it together here, guy. Let me think about it. I ran it through the lady last night, so I'm just kind of like thinking about it and going through it in my head and processing it and seeing if enough people are going to show up. That's the number one thing is, do people want to spend 3 hours every night with the Outlaw and assorted guests talking about stuff? Will I get the right producers who can line up my guests, who can line up topics, who can line up things? Will I get those people who can actually get people to appear on the show? That's another part of this thing. So yeah, it's certainly a possibility that I'm kicking around. I've been kicking around for a while. So I ran it by Lady Outlaw tonight. Just would have to adjust some things because a lot of the stuff we shoot at night are reviews for like the Geek Buddies or other things. So those would have to take back seats, or I would shoot them live during the show. That's a possibility too, for sure. But yeah, we shall see. And I appreciate that. I know you are, Dalton. I appreciate it very much. Noel Espada says, what's up, Rocha? Longtime fan, Outlaw Nation. Thank you, Noel. Good to see you, brother. Welcome to the nation tonight. I'm drinking a little bit and having a good time. I hope you're hanging out and having a good time as well. Let's take a look at that. It's a beautiful child there. Look at that child. That is a beautiful, I'm going to make my screen bigger. Look at the face. Is that your little girl? Noel, is that your little girl? I feel bad you're an Eagles fan, but everything else is pretty cool. Sean and I can agree. I feel bad. You guys look terrible against the Bears. Oh my God. Was it the Bears? Who was it that tore them up the other day as a quarterback? I can't remember who it was. One of the newer quarterbacks tore them up. But yeah, good to see you, Noel. Thanks for stopping by, my man. Hope you're enjoying the show. Good to see you. Much love to your little girl as well. Let's see here. Fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah. Let's see if we got any more. We got a couple more that have rolled through here. Let's take a look at Doug Developer says, speaking of cinephiles, I realize you guys have never done a Spike Lee movie. Really? Yeah. Would you guys ever consider doing the right thing? We did. So relevant today and so many interesting film techniques to discuss, particularly when the races insult each other. Yeah, absolutely. Steve and I have certainly considered it. We had a black professor from UCLA or USC who we were in negotiations with to come on to the show, and it kind of fell through, and then other stuff kind of got in the way. So we definitely have to circle back to do the right thing. If we're going to do a Spike Lee film, that's the Spike Lee film we're going to do. We might even ask Jay Washington to do it with us if he's up for it, because certainly he had a great time doing Black Panther with us. So we are certainly going to find our way to do the right thing. Don't you sweat it, Doug. And thanks very much for the Streamlabs, man. Roberto Arsenal says, Rocha, the Bianca situation is right up there with Hogan and Nash finger poke of doom. Just horrendous. I will finally watch Ted Lasso. As a lover of comedy and football, I hope this show lives up to the hype. It will. The first season, certainly, I'm telling you, Roberto, you will not hate the first season. The first season is extraordinary. The second season is starting out a little bumpy, but not bad, just a little bumpy. But the first season is excellent, absolutely excellent. You're going to really care about these characters and in ways you don't anticipate. Let me just tell you that right now. And as for the Bianca situation, I agree with you. I tweeted my thoughts on it. I thought it was terrible for the WWE to take their young black female champion, who they made a massive deal about, having Sasha Banks, their other black female champion, pass the torch to her and win that belt. And then they booked her kind of not that great, okay, but not that great with some of these battles. Certainly the battle with Bayley was fine. It wasn't as good as I was hoping. But then to have Sasha Banks come back, or I'm sorry, have Becky Lynch come back, and it's a great reaction. Everyone's going nuts. Maybe it's a stare down. You don't even have a match. Maybe Becky Lynch comes in there, kicks the crap out of Carmella, rolls up in there, and says, I want a shot at that belt. I'm going to take my shot at that belt. You get ready. That would have been enough. People wouldn't have given a fuck about a match. But to have her squash Bianca like that. So somehow Sasha can fight a 35-minute match against Bianca and barely lose to her. And Bianca can kick out multiple times from Sasha Banks's moves. But Becky does a variation of the rock bottom and can pin her off one move. That is insulting, and it insults every wrestler who she has beaten. It makes it look even less so. It's a dumb fucking move. Just a dumb fucking move. And the optics of having a white champion beat your black female champion, I just think it looks bad. I don't give a fuck that she's Irish. It's white, black, man. You gotta be aware of these kinds of things. And and I don't blame Becky. I mean, she's on a contract. She does what they tell her to do. That's part of the game. I don't blame Becky or Bianca, who took the hit, took the loss. If anything, I respect Bianca even more for taking the loss and making a meal out of it, as she did when she rolled out of the ring after she lost. So, I think just at the end, it's the booking. It sucks big donkey dicks to do that to a black female champion. I mean, the big knock on the WWE is how they've treated their black champions, or black wrestlers rather, for numerous decades. So, and a lot of people, and I saw Jay Washington tweet this, that if Goldberg was to defeat Lashley, he was going to just set the WWE on fire or something like that. And rightfully so, because this disrespect at some point has to stop. It's not that black champions can't lose to white wrestlers. Of course they fucking can. It's a matter of how you do it. Have some respect for the history and all of that. So especially when you make a big deal out of history, when you do Kofi Kingston tribute videos of him winning the title, do behind the scenes of him winning when you use Bianca Belair's music to promote your product, you're essentially saying this is the future. So for you to bring Becky in and have her do that. And it's also a disservice to Becky because a lot of fans turned on it. Others didn't, but a lot of fans turned on it and hated it and thought it was a terrible gut punch after they had been so excited that Becky Lynch was back. So just bad look. I always think it's a bad look when you allow, that kind of a situation to occur. It's bad optics overall. All right. Thank you, Roberto. I appreciate the Streamlab. Aaron Klister's back up. What's up, Aaron? He says, tell me if you agree with this. Spielberg hasn't been Spielbergian since Catch Me If You Can. I know he came out with hits after 2002, like Munich, Bridge of Spies, and The Terminal, but those movies haven't been as magical as in his numerous movies in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. What's your thought on that, sir? Well, it's a great question, Aaron. I appreciate you asking. Let me take a sip because I'm getting a little thirsty here. I probably should have had some water to balance out some of the liquor in here so I don't get dehydrated. Maybe I'll step away for a few minutes. Oh my God, we're already in the second hour. Oh my God. All right. So here's what I'll say. Yes, you're absolutely right. I don't think Spielberg. Let's take a look at his resume. I don't want to speak out of turn without looking at the Spielberg's resume. I think you've left a couple of other movies out after Catch Me If You Can, brother man. Let me see if you have here. Spielberg, can you come up, please? Oh, IMDb sometimes can be so fucking slow, man. Maybe if I go through here, if I go through the Safari, maybe it's better through the Safari than the Google Chrome. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Director. Okay. All right. So from Catch Me If You Can, we're talking The Terminal. Yes, I liked War of the Worlds. I thought War of the Worlds was actually fucking good. Munich. Yeah, I think Munich is a good movie. It's not a great movie. That weird sex scene at the end while they're killing the terrorists, I thought was really strange. Crystal Skull, the less said about that, the better. The Adventures of Tintin. Yeah, it's okay. War Horse, okay. Lincoln, that's only good, in my opinion, for Daniel Day-Lewis. Nost loves that movie, so it's got its fans. Bridge of Spies, yeah. BFG. I thought The Post is actually quietly really good movie. It's not as effective as All the President's Men, but it is a good movie. And then Ready Player One, which people are on two sides of the fence on for sure. But before Catch Me If You Can, Minority Report is excellent. AI was half and half. Saving Private Ryan was good. A lot of people like that movie. Amistad, Lost World, okay. Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Hook, Always, okay. Last Crusade, incredible. Empire of the Sun, bit of a slog, but I know people like it. Color Purple, great. And then we go back into E.T., which I know a lot of people love, then Raiders, then 1941, which was shit. Close Encounters, Jaws, Sugarland Express. So there's always been, if you look at his run of movies here, Aaron, there's always been a mix of some bad ones with some good ones and some great ones. But I agree with you. He hasn't made a film that's really been kind of considered a borderline classic since maybe Catch Me If You Can. Even though War of the Worlds is a fucking excellent movie. It is really well done. I agree with you. I don't think he's done anything come close to Catch Me If You Can. But also, you got to think about this, man. He's getting older, right? I mean, Scorsese with The Irishman, that was pretty much an anomaly. Most directors, when they get older, can't really repeat the great shit they used to do in the past. Look at Coppola. Go look at Coppola stuff through the 80s and the 90s. It's shit. I mean, Dracula is okay, but Jack. Rainmaker is fine, but any director could have made Rainmaker. There's not one Coppola-esque thing in Rainmaker. So you just never know. Look at Walter Hill. Walter Hill started out in the early 80s in Warriors, I think 48 Hours. Incredible stuff. Couple of the films. And then it's not much. So Friedkin, French Connection, Rosemary's Baby, after that. So you just never know what's going to happen when a director gets older, if they're going to be able to be as inspired, as driven, as what can I say this? As able to access the greatness of themselves as they get older, because you get tired. And if you're successful, you kind of get soft if you're not edgy. You know, Scorsese, I think, works because Scorsese is a lifer. You know, you got just like the Undertaker. He's a lifer in the pro wrestling business. He's not running off to be a star in a movie or a Marvel movie or anything. He's not doing any of that nonsense. You don't catch him in here. You don't catch him in Hear No Evil like fucking Kane. The Undertaker is a lifer to the pro wrestling business. Scorsese is a lifer to the film business. He's going to direct movies till he drops dead on a set. He's never going to fucking retire because he loves it. And he knows it keeps him young. It keeps him feeling like he can still do it. There are many men of that generation who work until they die because they like the feeling of working. It makes them feel useful. So when you look at Spielberg, I think Spielberg's just getting older, man, and he's getting softer. And when you're older, when you're softer, when you have more of a understanding of people's points of views, when you're more aware of all the multiple perspectives a certain issue can have, it makes it kind of harder to be go in one direction and focus on one point of view, because you're always worried about the fact that you're representing all the points of views. And I think that affects things overall, to be honest with you. So that's my opinion on that. But it's a great question, brother, man. Absolutely great question. And I will say this, I did like The Terminal. It's not a great film, but I like The Terminal. As a son of immigrants, that movie speaks to me on so many levels. And some of the experiences that Tom Hanks goes through is stuff that I've seen my parents talk about or experience themselves. And so it's such an interesting film for that reason alone. Simon Section says, whatever happened to Spielberg directing DC's Black Hawk? Yeah, just like a lot of things that WB and DC announce, they don't come true. How many times have you heard announcements? I mean, that's the thing that Vogel talks about all the time on the Geek Buddies, is how many times DC and Warner Brothers says, oh, we got this coming out, or we're announcing this, or we're announcing that. And then you don't see that film ever, or you don't even see it go into production or it being cast. So who knows? You know, just because they sign him something or they announce that he's in something or on something, it doesn't mean that the film is actually going to happen. But it's a great point. And really, how many people are clamoring for a 1940s film about a guy who flies planes in the 1940s? I don't know that there's a lot of market for that at this stage in our movie going experience right now. There's tastes are shifting, and that's what I would say. Let's see. Jared Leto's big boner says Scorsese is always hard, Spielberg is soft. All right, there you go. There you go. Let's see what else we got here. Anything else that's been donated here? Let me make sure I hit everything before we move on to the next thing. Okay, all right. Let's see. No, okay, cool. Everything we've handled. Keep setting in. We got another until a little bit around 10 o'clock p.m. PT. We're going to be rolling until then, so please send in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. Gorilla Vader says, hey, Rocha, off topic, but thank you for recommending Reservation Dogs. Great show. Yeah, it is. Episodes 3 and 4 are out now, so go and watch that. I haven't been doing a review for it because, I mean, there's not really much to review in the show. It's just a good show. And, it's just about their lives working where they're working and trying to get enough money to get out to LA or California. So that's a basic gist of the show. So every episode is them going on these interesting adventures or dealing with the people on the reservation and with their visions. The one main kid having those visions, or that vision about that Native American warrior there and what he goes through and the funny exchanges they have. So, but overall, though, there's not really much to review in those episodes. That's more of a reaction thing, right? And I might find my way in to start doing some reaction videos. I see how good the Real Rejects and Wendy Lee and the Movie Couple are with those reaction videos. So it might be something to explore down the road. Maybe try it out on something like Reservation Dogs, which is not going to require too much, and I can edit as I watch. We shall see. Maybe tomorrow with What If. Maybe I'll play around with What If and do a reaction video for What If I've got the time to do it. We shall see. Things that are proclaimed and don't come true. My ex's love for me. Yikes. 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 Sorry, JMB. Oh, good. What are you? Noel wants to know, Rocha, do you believe Doctor Strange could be a Skrull? I don't know, because can Skrulls use magic? I don't know if he's a Skrull. I've heard a number of things. It's Agatha. I thought I brought it up in one of the reviews that it might be Wanda. Somebody else mentioned that it could be Mephisto, finally, once and for all. I know we don't want to get Mephistoed. I'm just saying it could be. So I don't know if it's a Skrull, man, because usually in the comics, they can't actually, I don't think they can actually do magic, if I remember correctly. But who knows? They've been changing things around the MCU for quite some time now. Let's see here. Infinity says, Rocha, you're awesome on Yellowstone and in Hell or High Water. Thanks, Infinity. I appreciated that. Yeah, if I can make his money, I'd be very happy if I can make his money. That's for sure. Charlie, the unicorn, says, runes says it all. Yeah, where are the runes, Charlie? A lot of people said runes, but I didn't see any runes. So let me know. All right, let's move on to some Ghostbusters Afterlife stuff. I know Justin Toner's been waiting for us to talk about it. Sorry, we're an hour and 10 minutes into the show, Justin. We're getting to it. But yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife is, we're 3 months away from that film coming out, or a little bit under 3 months away from that film coming out. So, but CinemaCon, which is going on right now in Vegas, they had a surprise screening of the movie there, and a lot of people are reacting positively from the movie, and that may be why they dropped an early screening for the film 3 months ahead of time, because they want to build up the buzz with critics, and clearly they feel that they've got a good movie on their hands. Jason Reitman said the film is a massive Easter egg hunt for fans of the original movie. Here are some of the why don't I just share? Well, actually, no. Let's see. Who's this? Jeffrey Harris is a 411 Mania staff reporter. Apparently he was there in CinemaCon. His review is this. Yes, Ghostbusters Afterlife screened at CinemaCon. Yes, I saw it. Yes, it's very good. Yes, this is the true Ghostbusters sequel you've been waiting for. It does have a lot of callbacks, but it's a nostalgic homage for the franchise. There you go. Sean O'Connell, my brother over there at Cinema Blend, he said, saw Ghostbusters Afterlife at CinemaCon, and it's good. A solid continuation of the original two films, nostalgia for the original, and a strong turn by McKenna Grace as Egon's granddaughter. Paul Rudd gets the best lines. Fans will dig it. That's pretty cool. And Caitlin Booth, Katie's Movies, at Katie's Movies, she says Ghostbusters Afterlife was really great. As someone who wasn't a massive fan of the Ghostbusters, I had so much fun even without understanding the references. A ton of heart with a great cast. New and old fans are going to love it. Stay through the credits. Ooh, stay through the credits. Interesting. All right, Nathan M. Rose, who's at Movie Guy Nathan, said CinemaCon gave us a great treat tonight. We were treated to the new film Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's breathtaking. Everyone needs to see it this fall. There you go. Well, let me hit the hashtag on Twitter and see Scott Menzel, my brother there from the Hollywood Critics Association. He said, Ghostbusters Afterlife is the Ghostbusters sequel that I've been waiting for all my life to see. It is nostalgia done right, a perfect blend of classic Ghostbusters moments with a fresh and unique twist for a whole new generation to enjoy. I got goosebumps. There you go. Positive stuff. Ben Meckler is he's a writer as well. He said, surprise, Ghostbusters Afterlife screening just blew the roof off CinemaCon. Loved it. Josh Gad retweeted Scott Menzel and said, having seen this movie, I can confirm that it is everything you've been waiting for and so much more. Also, bring tissues. All right. And Beatrice Verhoeven, who's over there at the Wrap, we follow each other on the Wrap. She is a fantastic film editor over there. She said, I was pleasantly surprised by Ghostbusters Afterlife. Really great story. And I actually cackled a lot. And then Lauren Huff, who works for EW, we follow each other on Twitter as well. And she's also from the HCA Critics. She said, Ghostbusters fans are going to be thrilled with Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think I'm afraid to say much more than that, but there's a lot to love. Easter eggs and nostalgia fill just about every frame, but the story still manages to feel fresh and new. So yeah, it sounds like a good mix of nostalgia and a new approach to the Ghostbusters world. And certainly when you saw the trailer, you felt that, you sensed that. That was a positive that you were getting when you were watching the trailer. You sensed the nostalgia, you sensed the way it was approaching it from a modern point of view, from a now point of view. So that's a positive, and that gets me excited to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. I don't know about you all, but what can I say? The 2000s, is it 2016 when that one came out with all women Ghostbusters film? Oh, sorry. I liked it, but I didn't think it was great, and I haven't found myself drawn to watch it again. And I wish it would have been better, and I wish it could have been better. I just felt I think it coasted on the charm and the talent of its stars, and there wasn't enough meat on the bone to really enjoy in that movie. And that's it's directed by Paul Feig, who I usually like Paul Feig's movies. A Simple Favor. I think he did Spy, Bridesmaids. I like Paul Feig as a director very much. He rarely has a misstep, in my opinion, but that Ghostbusters film was a bit of a misstep. So to hear that they're kind of going back to the vibe and the feeling of the original Ghostbusters movies, I think is a positive. That's what people want nowadays. You want the combination of nostalgia with the more updated approach to this material and these franchises and this IP for sure. Sin Infinity. I'm not going to read that, but I hear you. All right. Let's see. Garth says, here we go. Garth's D says, hey, Rocha, I heard the Jericho podcast with Eli Roth and his new doc, Finn, on Discovery Plus. It is really good about the abuse of sharks, etc. Thank you for all you do. But a big fan. You the best, amigo. You the best, amigo. I appreciate it. I'll pass that on to Steve, because Steve Morris over at the Cinephiles, he did that shark documentary. He's a big fan of anything that's about getting people away from the idea of seeing sharks as predators of humans. They are not that. So anything that kind of explores that a little bit more, I bet Steve would be all about it. Yeah, Sean's asking us to get to 100 likes. Where are we at right now? Sean? I haven't even looked, to be honest with you, and I apologize for that. I haven't even put the thing in the chat. What the hell? I should have put the thing in the chat. What the hell's going on? What is wrong with me? Let's see here. Let me get into what am I? Oh, what is? It's weird when I watch myself. It's a little strange. Let me see. Where am I here? Live. All right, there we go. I'm going to put myself in here. Man, watch. What are we at with likes? We're at 95. Let's go, people. 5 more likes. I think you can give me 5 more likes. Can't you give me 5 more likes, for God's sakes? If you haven't hit like on this, please do so now. Let me bring down my banner. Send a question or comment for John on the Outlaw Nation show. Go to. All right, let's put that up here. All right. Ooh, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Oops, wrong ticker. Let's see. Where are we here? There we go. All right. I hit like again. No, you can't hit like again. Doesn't that take it away? Mike. That's funny as shit, dude. All right. There we go. All right. It's pinned in the chat if you want to send Streamlabs. If you haven't sent them before, send some Streamlabs. Send some love to us. Support what we're doing here on the channel. We love that. So let's see here if we got any more. Oh yeah, Justin Toner said, switching to positive wrestling news, NXT TakeOver on Sunday night was lots of fun. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov was a 5-star classic. Grimes versus LA Knight was Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight was great. And while the match wasn't the best, happy for Samoa Joe winning the NXT title for a record 3rd time. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it was, a great shot of him holding the belt up. And you know, I said that on our Strong Style episode. I said there's no way they're bringing Samoa Joe here back to wrestle to lose in a chance to win the belt. And certainly, I guess they're gonna send Karrion Kross up into the main roster anyway, so it makes sense for him to lose it. But I heard there was people chanting for Scarlett. We want Scarlett, and she said she's taking a little bit of a break, handling a personal issue. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, because she didn't show up at the Raw or the SmackDown tapings, and then she tweeted that there was more to come. But now she's taking a break, apparently. So who knows where that's going to go. But yeah, I'm going to sit down at some point this week, brother man, and watch NXT TakeOver 36. I haven't watched it yet. I've heard nothing but great things about the Walter versus Ilya Dragunov match. Tomorrow, I am just fucking stacked, or else I would watch it tomorrow. Maybe after I'm done recording everything in the afternoon and I'm done editing things, I will sit down for a couple of hours and watch it. Or maybe I'll go on a bike ride because I'm a fat son of a bitch and I got to lose some weight. We shall see. We shall see. All right. Josh Mabry says, the trailer gave me a Ghostbusters meets Stranger Things vibe, which I'm 1000% for. It could also be because of Finn Wolfhard being in it. Yeah, Josh, that's probably true, but it does have that combo. So, because Stranger Things does such a great job with evoking the 80s, why wouldn't you feel that when you're watching a trailer that's going back to kind of be nostalgic for a film that was big in the 80s? For sure. Why not? I hear you about that for sure. So yeah, let's see. Anything else that has come through here? No, not yet. All right, let's move on. So we talked about Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's all positive stuff. I'm looking forward to it myself. You want to hear the good things about a film. So the fact that it's going that direction, I think is incredible and fantastic. So that's great. So that's great. Let's see. What else did I put on the rundown? What else did I put on the rundown, Sean? What else have I got to talk about here? You're my producer. Don't just watch the Yankees game, for God's sakes. Help me out. What's he pointing at? I don't know what he's pointing at. Put it in the private chat. We got 85 of you watching us live right now. How many likes we got? 102 likes. Thank you very much. All right, let's start marching towards 150 likes. Come on. Oh, really? Twitch watch along for the match? That's not a bad idea. Maybe encourage people to come hang out with me to watch this. Oh, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Watch NXT TakeOver with me as I'm watching these matches for the first time. Yeah, I'm down with that. That'd be fun. I'll kind of dig that. Oh, we've won 11 in a row, the Yankees? Have we really? Holy shit. Are we back in playoff contention? Oh, yeah, the Twitter battle. That's right. Yeah, so today, I don't know if you know this. I love Princess Mononoke, JMB. I do. I got to get into Cowboy Bebop. I own Princess Mononoke on DVD. I don't have it on Blu-ray or 4K. I don't even know if it's out on 4K. But I love Twitch watch along for All Out would bring in viewers because it is CM Punk. That's true. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad fucking idea. I don't think we could do it with Aaron, but I might be able to do the Twitch watch along on my own. We shall see. Because I mean, Aaron likes to watch things on time. He hates being behind because he's always having his Twitter up at the same time as he's watching the matches. So he doesn't like the fact that I don't have a problem being behind. All right. No, I've not been watching Hard Knocks because Sinfinity's asking me if I'm watching Hard Knocks. I have not been watching Hard Knocks because I'm not hearing good things. I am not hearing a good thing about it. And usually if you think Hard Knocks and the Dallas Cowboys, this is a great combination for drama and combustibility. None of that seems to be happening. I've heard it's kind of a boring season, so I haven't. I was going to do a review, and then a couple of people told me that don't bother because it's not that good of a show this year. So maybe we'll see. We'll see. But you know, football's right around the corner. I know Game Time is going to be coming back. I don't know who's going to be on Game Time. It's going to be about people's schedules and what they can commit to and not commit to. So we shall see. But I will do my damnedest to have some great guests lined up every Monday to talk football and more on Game Time. College football starts up, I think, this weekend, officially, I guess, but it starts up this weekend, I believe. And then next week, we start up the official season with the top 25 teams playing next week. So just letting you know. Yeah, everyone has panned Hard Knocks this season. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't watch it. I haven't been watching it. So I don't feel negative about that. That's for damn sure. Yeah. All right. So I got into a big discussion today on Twitter. Big, massive battle with my friends, Michael Vogel and Josh Haber and Mark Sloan and all these. Yeah, I'll get to it, Sean. I'll get to it. All these things on Twitter. We're battling over Thanos versus the Avengers, right? And I have always felt a desire to defend Thanos. And certainly this argument popped back up again because of What If, and you had from last week the second episode of the season where you were having that discussion in the bar. If you haven't seen is it a spoiler if I mention it? I guess it's a spoiler. But this crew, I feel like this crew. Anyway, we'll see. We see. There's things that happen in a bar with some people in What If that are part of the Ravagers and not part of the Ravagers, and have a discussion about what Thanos was going to do and whether it was genocide or not. And so that came up, and it was a big debate. And a certain person who was defending Thanos had a certain point of view, and a certain person who was against that Thanos had another point of view. They debated it. So one of one of my followers and one of our viewers of Geek Buddies tagged the three of us and asked us a question about Thanos and the Avengers and blah, blah, blah. And it launched a 2-hour Twitter battle and some of my other friends jumped in on it as well. And we're just debating this idea whether Thanos was correct or not. All of them were pretty much against what Thanos was doing. I was the one person that was kind of seeing the logic or legitimizing the logic of what Thanos was doing. And of course I had to show support for a heel, of course. And my point of view was you got to look at the bigger picture, right? And look, I'm not advocating for eradicating half the world. What I'm saying is that or murdering half the world, as they so dramatically put it. What I was advocating for was this. I mean, the guy saw what was happening in the galaxy, that we were being stretched thin with our resources. There was overwhelming hunger, overwhelming homelessness, overwhelming economic, financial hardships between the haves and the have-nots. The ever widening gap between the haves and the have-nots was causing these financial hardships. We're seeing all this stuff happening. So Thanos thought, well, I know what to do here. I'm going to snap my fingers and wipe out half the galaxy, and people are going to be able to function in a better situation. More space. The environment will be better for everybody because there's going to be less pollution. Did you see the pollution rates during COVID? They were fucking way down because people weren't out on the road using their cars. People weren't, the factories weren't running the shit that they were running. And that makes a difference. So you saw the pollution levels drop dramatically because human beings weren't out there causing more issues to the climate by what the things that they were doing, like driving a car or working at a place or smoking or doing all the things that they do that contribute to issues with climate. So that was maybe you had Steve Rogers come in and say like, hey, I saw a pot of whales today in the Hudson. When was the last time you saw that? So it's almost in a way like a kind of defense for Thanos. So I felt the need to defend Thanos on this. And some people felt the other way. You know, some of my friends were pretty adamant that he was a murderer, or some of the people who were chiming in on the tweet said he was, or the thread rather said he was, he was committing genocide, which is not, to the technical definition of the term, not correct. Genocide is, from what I understand, attacks a group, a race, a culture, a nation, an ethnicity. That's what genocide is. What he did was complete and utter half the galaxy disappearing, regardless of color, gender, race, wealth, anything. It's all half off, half gone. And then you move forward. And it had been 5 years. So my argument was that the Avengers' hubris, their bruised egos of losing to Thanos, they couldn't just accept the loss and move on. They had to go and turn this thing around. They had to go and mess with the laws of time. And I said that it was a violation of the natural order of things because Thanos had a mission. And just like any villain or hero, when they have a mission to accomplish, they head towards that mission and use whatever tools are around them to complete the mission and succeed and try to win. What I think the Avengers did after Thanos won and did the snap, by the way, he won because of Thor's hubris. Let's put that on the table. Thanos snapped because, and they couldn't stop him. All right, they couldn't stop him. You lost the fight. You lost the fight. I don't get to rewind time and fight Manny Pacquiao again after he beats me, or Floyd Mayweather after he beats me. I have to take my loss. I don't get to rewind time in the Schmodown and redo the match with all the answers. It doesn't make sense. So it's those kinds of things that you look at and you go, to me, I was like, Thanos he went for the stones, got the stones, did the snap. What the Avengers did was go and find Tony, guilt him, or because they knew what they were doing by going to him to ask him to help. They knew they were going to stick that idea in his head and he wasn't going to let it go. And Tony, in essence, is guilted into creating the ability to time travel, which apparently he could do over a weekend. And they use it to go back in time to try to reset everything. And then they're not taking responsibility for the half of the world that they bring back. There's no program set up. There's no housing set up for them. There's no food. I mean, imagine the food shortages around the globe and in numerous galaxies or other planets. When you bring back half of their population after 5 years, you bring them back. That's going to lead you to record levels of poverty, homelessness, hunger, death, all kinds of stuff. So my thing was, the Avengers did what they did to turn back a loss, but they didn't prepare for what they were going to do if they won. They just wanted to win. And that, and by win, I mean bring everybody back, defeat Thanos. And by the way, I love Avengers Endgame, and I cheer for the event. I'm not cheering for Thanos in that movie, right? I'm cheering for Avengers Endgame, but I can also look at it from a farther point of view. And in my opinion, Thanos had a mission, completed the mission in the natural order of things because he went and got the stones, found a way to put them all together, got the glove made in nowhere, and then snapped and got his wish. What the Avengers did, go back in time, get the stones themselves, which is messing with the natural order of things, and put the glove together, have Hulk do the snap, then have the big battle, and then Robert Downey Jr. or Iron Man takes the glove off and does what he does, right? So to me, I just felt like this is them wanting to do the heroic thing. But just like the MCU and the Avengers throughout the MCU, they're never there to clean up the mess that they make, right? In Sokovia, they dropped a whole fucking half a country or half a city on top of itself. In the Avengers, right? It was Michael Keaton's crew and probably numerous other crews around New York who were picking up after the Avengers. They have all this superpowers You can't tell me they can't pick up all the fucking debris that they leave on the ground. For God's sakes, if you're going to have the fight, then come and do the fucking work to clean up and pick up the city. You live here. So all those things that I think the Avengers get dinged on, now we're getting the ramifications of that, right? The blip, the ramifications of the blip and all of that. We're seeing how that changes the world. What did we see in Falcon and Winter Soldier? We saw the Flag Smashers. They were born out of the fact that the Avengers came and put half of the planet back onto the planet, and it caused all kinds of political turmoil, all kinds of issues about nations and borders and refugee crisis, all of that. They didn't solve any of that shit. All they did was turn around what Thanos did. And you want to say, oh, we brought them back. Well, great. We brought them back. That's all we need to do. Bullshit. If you're going to do this, you've also got to take responsibility and create housing, find food. You got to do all kinds of things. And each one of these nations, that's the hubris. When you're caught up with the fantasy of winning, but not the consequences and the ramifications of winning, then what was the point of winning? Just bringing everybody back and then you don't give a fuck what happens to them? That's some bullshit. It's like being pro-life. Yes, I'm pro-life until the baby is born. Then I don't give a fuck about the baby, and don't come to me asking for help or assistance, and don't you dare go to the government looking for food stamps, right? It's those kinds of people. And I think, to me, that's what I see when the Avengers bring these people back. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think crazy? Am I crazy on this? I'm just, and I know Michael thinks I'm crazy. Vogel thinks I'm insane for defending this. And he thinks that, he thinks Thanos is an arrogant dickhead who had his own, which I think is a bit of a, calling a guy a name. I think it's a devaluing of the argument. And then we're seeing what we're going to get from Eternals, which is these evil creatures. I can't remember the names that they said in the trailer, are born out of the fact that the Avengers went back and did what they did. So they unleashed these evil creatures because they fuck with the natural order of things. And some of them have come back, and I don't know. I haven't spent too much time investigating their arguments that, well, Kang, said it was cool, and even Raven Renslayer saying the Avengers did what they were supposed to do in the timeline. But I don't trust Ravonna at all after watching Loki. I don't trust Ravona's analysis or judgment of anything. She was lying to Owen Wilson's character the whole time and lying to Loki or withholding information, and then turned on them and lied to Lady Loki as well. So she's kind of a dirty player. So why would I trust anything Ravonna has to say? And why would I trust Kang, who's clearly off his rocker, sitting up there with multiple versions of himself? Why would I trust him about the analysis of what should or shouldn't have happened in the main timeline? So it's just, there's a lot to explore here. Deviants, right? The Deviants, exactly, the Deviants. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. I just think Thanos gets a little bit of a bad rap. I know, I understand he's not, they want to say murdering half the people. And I guess you can call it murder, but I think what he's doing is understanding that the planet is overpopulated. We can't seem to feed our people, house our people. We're okay with governments creating even passing laws that make the division between the haves and the have-nots even wider. And so more people are struggling to live and exist, have to work multiple jobs. And we're not making the hard decisions. We're all caught up in freedom, and we're not really focusing on the fact that, you know what? All this freedom has led to this. So maybe a little more restraint, a little more understanding that you can't do whatever you want, whenever you want, that there's a responsibility, right? Even Jerry Jones came out with that statement today talking about getting all the Cowboys vaccinated. By the way, I was shocked that Jerry Jones, of all people, came out and said he wanted to vaccinate all the Cowboys in essence. And he said, we got to stop thinking about I and start thinking about we. Schwarzenegger said the same thing. He's like, oh, your freedoms, forget your freedoms. What your freedoms matter if you're hurting other people. And he's right. and that dude from Redcon or whatever wearing that 1776 shirt. Sure, pal. That 1776 shirt, they dropped Schwarzenegger. And it's like, fuck you. What the fuck's it matter, man? It's Schwarzenegger, dude. Who are you compared to Schwarzenegger? What is Redcon compared to Schwarzenegger? Give me a break. And that's that same kind of mentality is people just want to do whatever they want to do. Fuck if it hurts other people, And the Avengers did what they wanted to do because they were caught up in being heroes. But what about the ramifications of what you did? What about the consequences of what you did? Because you didn't set up a system to help with political upheaval, to help with homelessness and hunger and financial issues and hardships, jobs. Who's going to work? What are the assistance programs that you're going to set up? Like if you showed me one scene where Robert Downey Jr., where Tony Stark has set up a financial institution or blueprint or construction where Pepper Potts is in charge of doling out a certain amount of money to certain governments to help with these people coming back. That's something, right? But we got to deal with the reality. And that's my argument overall is that like Thanos did what he did. And you could say it's bad or good, but the Avengers bringing people back without any kind of plan, I think was completely irresponsible. So that's my thought. That's my 100% thoughts. So there you go. Brian Brawler says they also lost their fight against Thanos because someone didn't want to call their friend because of their own pride. Right, Tony and Steve. Right, exactly. That's a great point, Brian. He didn't want to call him. Who called him? Was it Hulk who called him? Yeah, I think he made Hulk call him. He didn't want to call him. That's true. Andrew Hale says, good villains, you can understand their point of view for sure, but definitely still controversial. LOL. Yeah, I know it's controversial. And that's okay. I don't mind being a little controversial. It's all right. Have a little debate for sure. He says, that's a good argument, but it doesn't justify murder. Right. But how many people do you think were murdered when they were brought back without food, without shelter? How many criminals do you think took advantage of them and killed them? Like, that's the thing, right? I mean, why is it okay to just be okay with that? I'm not okay with that. And yeah, you had the circle and everyone was depressed trying to move on and whatever, but it had been 5 years, Charlie says they never knew if the plan was going to work. I know they didn't, Charlie, but you've got to plan for the possibility that your plan will work. You've got to be prepared for that. In the military, when we come up with a tactical strategy to attack, we don't go, well, we've got no plans for if we win the battle or not. We're just going to win the battle. Bullshit. You got to know what to do. This is why revolutions fail. Revolutions, or not fail, but when revolutions happen and they succeed and they achieve power in that country, but then they have no construct of what to do next, no plan for what government is going to be installed in there, who's going to do what, who's going to handle what, then those governments eventually implode, and then you get what you've got in any of the countries that you've seen where revolutions after they've won have faltered or fallen to pieces or devolved back into being dictatorships. And that's the truth. You've got to plan for anything. So no, I didn't say Thanos for president. That's for sure. I didn't say Thanos for president. Oh my God. Yeah. That's why I'm usually Team Cap. I think it would have been with Iron Man and Civil War. Oh, absolutely. Oh man, Cap. I want to do that video. I really want to do that video where I explore how much of a passive aggressive jerk Captain America is. Because it's like, he's always whining about something. And then he always thinks he's owed something. And he always has a sliding scale of morality. Whenever it's convenient for his friends to reap the benefits of something, then he's all about twisting things around to make it beneficial for them, right? Which is personal. And instead of thinking of the greater good, he thinks of his own immediate good. So in a way, he's kind of like America in that it's like, it's all about our allies and it's all about ourselves. So in a way, he's kind of like America, Captain America. So he is reflective of Captain America. But at times he's like a male Karen complaining about shit. It does get a little frustrating. And then when that situation with Iron Man, right, when he didn't tell him about Bucky killing his parents, he defaulted to, well, I was doing it to save both of you. It's like, no, you weren't. You were doing it because you were afraid that if you told Tony, Tony was going to kick the shit out of your boy. And you were afraid that that could happen. That's what you were afraid of, which is why you fought the way you fought, to defend your boy in that fight at the end of Civil War. And then you left a letter because you didn't have the nuts to go and talk to him face to face and be like, hey man, I did what I did. I'm sorry. I probably should have done this or that. That would have been there. Not leaving some damn letter on the desk for Tony Stark to read. That's kind of a weak sauce move, to be honest with you. If you're Captain America, it means you could step up and take some responsibility. But in some ways, it kind of reflects some of the worser parts of America and the American leadership, American government, and they don't take responsibility for their mistakes. They kind of rationalize their mistakes and then hope you look past it and move on. And that's what he did. And then grew a beard. Listen, Thanos was a flat earther. There we go. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jared. Let us be over. Yeah, Darren said, yeah, he didn't even take part of the blame in Lagos. Yeah, he did. He let poor fucking Scarlet Witch take the blame. He let her carry the fucking weight. A Gorilla Vader said, hey, that's America's ass you're talking about, my wife yelled. That is America's ass. I'm not going to deny you're right about that. Tell your wife I said hi, Gorilla Vader. Tell your wife I said hi. And I'm sorry. You know, it's just a point of view. Just a point of view, man. It's just a point of view. All right. Josh Mabry says ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12 are forming an alliance, whatever that means. Thoughts on that? And do you think this is the start of the end of conferences? Well, first of all, I was watching PTI about this actually earlier today. It's funny you bring this up, Josh, because I don't mind saying that I'm not aware of or not as steeped in knowledge about a certain situation. And to be honest with you, I've kind of turned off the college stuff while COVID's been going on, because I thought it was ridiculous that they tried to have a season last season. I don't even remember who fucking won the title, and I don't care. I think it was Bama. And that's the first time I've ever not cared about a college football season in my entire life that I've been aware of college football. So it was weird. So now this idea of the alliance or whatever they're talking about, Tony Kornheiser, I think, said it best on PTI. By the way, shout out to that old man still going on PTI. He said that, you know what, until you sign a paper, I don't believe a fucking thing you're going to do. I don't believe that you're committed to anything. And he said, what if the SEC starts making big eyes, googly eyes to the Big Ten? Then the SEC and the Big Ten could run off and do their own thing because you haven't signed a contract to be part of an alliance with the ACC and with the Pac-12. So they can do anything they want to do, but until there's actually stuff on paper, it means nothing to me. They're WB and DC announcing projects that never see the light of day. So for me, I don't think it matters anything at all until there's actual contracts written out and all of this is squared away. But I also think if this does happen, though, I think it's a little bit dangerous because essentially you're setting up a monopoly here, a little bit of a monopoly here, and you can kind of control, because there was that decision by the Supreme Court to allow these players to make money. So now what you've allowed is a decision for if you let the alliance go through, essentially you can cost control what the players can make and not make in these situations. So in essence, you're setting up the possibility of collusion between these teams and these coaches and these universities towards these players, because now these players can actually make money off their likeness and off themselves. And some of them seem to be jumping on the opportunity. It could be dangerous for sure. It could be dangerous for sure. Linnell Forstel says, interesting debate tonight, very nuanced. Thank you, Linnell. I appreciate that. Yeah, I kind of pride myself on being able to do that. Michael Vogel gets upset at me sometimes because he doesn't like it when I actually go toe-to-toe with him. He doesn't like it. Let's see. Sinfinity Beyond says, Rocha, do you think Red Wolves is the clubhouse leader for the Washington football team new name? Nah, man, I hope not, dude. The Washington Red Wolves does not excite me in any way, shape, or form. I got to be honest with you. None of the names really excite me. Maybe the Washington Defenders, but I don't know. That's weird. Feels like an 80s indoor league football team name. It doesn't feel like a NFL team name. I think we're going to end up defaulting all the way back to Washington football team. I really do. I think we're not walking away from that thing. A lot of people have enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoy saying WFT. A lot of people like saying the football team's quarterback, the football team's wide receiver. A lot of people are enjoying that. So I wouldn't mind it. So it was kind of a joke last year, but then eventually as it went along and we won the division over Sean Barretto's Giants and Winston A. Marshall's Cowboys, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. But, any of the names that they've presented that were on that list, those 8 names, none of those names were exciting to me. Like the Washington Armada, that's a nickname for a defense. That's not the logo for your team or the whatever it is, the mascot for your team. So this doesn't work for me. Jeremy, WTF team. We won the fucking league, Jeremy, or the division rather. So we're not the WTF team. Ask Daniel Jones how it feels. I should have Daniel Jones highlights queued up just to mess with Sean. Especially Daniel Jones running downfield and no one tackles him. He trips over his own feet. That is a white boy thing to do. Black people don't do that. White people do that shit. White people trip over their own goddamn feet running down the fucking field. Do I have a name suggestion, says Kevin Merton. They shot down the name suggestion. I wanted Warriors. I think Warriors was the best fucking choice, but I absolutely respect the Native American leaders who said that was too close to implying that Native Americans were just warriors, just fighters, and that they were also very intelligent people, capable of contributing numerous things to their people. So I totally respect that. And so I can't support that name anymore, especially because my girlfriend's half Native American, so I don't want to get in any kind of trouble. But I don't know. Washington Swamp. Suck it. I don't want Red Tails. That's for fucking sure. The last thing I want is that asshole who owns the team to cover himself with minority stuff to cover up the fact that he's a fucking misogynist. He had he was allegedly sexual harassment and the stuff with the cheerleaders, and also a culture of completely stepping on people of color whenever they're trying to see. And the thing is this, if you look around your organization and a majority of the people in charge are white, you're fucking wrong. And especially in 2021, if your owners are white, if your people involved with presenting the product are almost all white, if the people involved in working on your product, promoting your product are all white, and you've only got a couple of people of color in the background, it's not a right look for 2021. It fucking isn't. So to me, what you've got here is Danny had that. Then all of a sudden he discovered women could actually work and be good in positions of power, move them into positions of power. Then, he hired a black general manager to cover his tracks so he doesn't look terrible. It's all PR, brand face saving bullshit. And it's so frustrating that the NFL's letting him get away with it. He bought the whole team and then supposedly signed it over to his wife, who's probably doing everything that he tells her to do, for God's sake. So just all ridiculous on so many levels. Yeah, he signs the checks. Exactly. Signs the checks. Right. I worked for someone who signed my checks. He was a fucking dick. And he didn't respect what people of color brought to the table for the most part. Let me see here. What we're Washington football team names. Let me see if I've got. What did they say? Oh yeah, okay. So the Washington Presidents, fuck no. The Washington Red Wolves and Red Hogs, no. The Washington Commanders, no. Armada, Brigade, maybe the Brigade, but even that, what does it mean? What is a brigade? You know what I'm saying? The Washington Defenders, there's already an XFL team called the DC Defenders. So that I don't think that would have worked. Washington Presidents. Fuck no, dude. I feel like Roy Kent. I feel like I'm going to get fuck no. Fuck no. Red Wolves, are you fucking crazy? I'm not naming a team Red Wolves. You fucking bastard. You fucking asshole. Jamie Tart. That fucking clown. It's my Brett Goldstein imitation from Ted Lasso. The fucking Washington Red Wolves. What the fuck is a Red Wolf, mate? What's a Red Wolf? I've lived in DC my whole life. I've never seen a fucking Red Wolf. So there you go. That's my Roy Kent interpretation, my Roy Kent's point of view on these Washington football team names. Washington Brigade. What's a fucking brigade, mate? What is a fucking brigade? That's from the Revolutionary War, mate. That don't make no sense. The Ultimate Warriors, yes. I'm down with the Washington Ultimate Warriors. That I would just playing the music through the fucking stadium, pay the rights for the fucking music. Oh my God. And then they'd run out of the tunnel, fucking shaking the stands. I'm down with that shit. Let's see if I've got any more Streamlabs super chats. We're close to wrapping up the show. Want to make sure we get to everybody. Doug Developer says, "Hey, John, my friend finally got me on Bumble. After 2 days, I'm conversing with one of my 2 matches. Nice. May I ask how long you were on Bumble before you met the Lady Outlaw and how many matches your handsome face got? So I won't feel bad about on my Bumble journey." Let's say this. How can I say this? So I don't recall how long I was on Bumble before I met the Lady Outlaw. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year. Because I mean, the relationship with me and that other girl ended, I think, in 2015, and so we met in 2018 because we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary. So I went through the depression in 2016 and the near suicide attempt in 2016. So that was like 6 months of just really fucking being messed up. So I probably didn't start using Bumble till 2017. So yeah, I went on a few dates off Bumble and off Tinder. So maybe a year and a half before I found someone, but I did meet a couple of people that I dated for a couple of months or 3 months. Didn't really work out, but I did meet people. And I was always in like conversation with other women to kind of like figure out if it's working or not. And sometimes you get ghosted. Sometimes you ghost them. Sometimes they meet somebody. Sometimes you meet somebody. So that was my experience overall. But yeah, I mean, like when we met each other, that was like, we just kind of figured it just felt like, okay. And it took a while for me to come around because of the damage that my ex-girlfriend had done to me. So it took me a while to kind of be like, okay, is this the right thing for me? I kind of had to work into it, Doug. I had to kind of go through my own process to make sure this is what I really wanted to commit to again, because that other girl really fucked me up. So I didn't want to put myself in a position where I was subservient or I was the submissive in the relationship. I wanted to make sure it could be equal, and of course we'd take turns. That's how a relationship works. But like, I wanted to make sure it was the right situation. So it took me a while to find the right one, but I was talking with people. So it's got to be a process. I don't know. You're always trying to rush to the result, Doug. And the truth is, and you watch all this nerdy shit, and you know that in the nerdy shit, they tell you it's about the journey, not about the end. So be in the journey. You're rushing to make this. I'm telling you, rushing is going to lead to you making bad decisions with the wrong people, and you're not going to be happy. You got to be chill, be confident, be relaxed, understand what you bring to the table, be cool with what you bring to the table. And if someone don't respect that, don't appreciate it, kick them to the fucking curb. That's what I've learned. I spent way too much time with people who didn't respect or understand or appreciate what I brought to the table, or tried to change who I was from day one, or try to make me feel terrible about who I was from day one because they couldn't come to terms with their own shit. And unfortunately, you find that in dating. That's the game. And it sucks. And sometimes you're the one doing it. Sometimes you're taking your shit out on a person that you're dating. So it's not like, everyone's clean but you, or everyone's dirty but you. It's a slog sometimes. And you've got to, as long as you're working on yourself and you're being honest about the work you're doing on yourself, and you're clear about who you want. I think that's the number one thing. That's how I was able to come to the right place with Lady Outlaw, is I was clear about who I wanted to be with next. After that shitty ass relationship, and after my near suicide, and then the conversations I had in my with the 2 psychiatrists that I was seeing for 6 months, I became very, very clear about what I wanted next and what I was willing to be with next. And so once you become clear about it, and it takes a certain level of, like, I had to climb out and find the love for myself and the confidence within myself. It's not easy to do. And once I climbed out of it, though, that's when I knew what I wanted. And I went on dates before the Lady Outlaw, and I would end the date knowing we weren't going to see each other again, because I knew this is not what I wanted. And I was okay saying no. It's a really powerful thing when you're able to say no to something, when you're not begging someone to be with you or begging someone to go out with you again. You have to come from a powerful place. And that is, I know what I want. I want to be with you, or I want to date you and see where it goes. You don't want to come on strong and be like, I only want to be with you, but you just got to explore it. And you got to feel confident enough to be like, hey, this is what I'm going. I'm willing to commit to this in my own mind. And sometimes you don't even tell her that you're willing to commit to it. You're just kind of doing your own thing. And you're okay if she's, kind of trying it out with other people, because you have a belief in yourself that you'll win out in the end. It's not easy. Not a lot of guys can do that. It's not easy, but it can happen. So I think the number one thing, as RuPaul says all the time at the end of her show, how can anybody love you if you don't love yourself? You got to love yourself first, or at least be an extreme like of yourself. And that doesn't mean be cocky or arrogant. It just means like appreciate what you bring to the table. And when that person shows up who's going to appreciate what you bring to the table, appreciate what they bring to the table as well. Too many people work out their own negative views of themselves on people. One of the most insidious psychological things you can do to yourself that really fucks you up is to hate the person that cares about you because you hate yourself. If you haven't come to terms with the fact that you might hate yourself or hate who you are as a person, you haven't done the therapy and the work to move past that and let that shit go and work through it and understand where that comes from, you're never going to truly be happy. And you might even develop a bit of an insidious hate for the person you're with because they love you for you. And you kind of blame them. You kind of judge them as lesser than because they love you for you when you can't even love you for you. So that's how deep this shit can go if you're not aware of it. So there's a lot of, I know I'm going on a diatribe, I apologize, but there's a big journey people need to walk in this world with relationships. And it took me a long time to walk it. Everyone's like, oh, it's great. It's great. I'm in my, I found her when I was in my late 40s. So like all this shit I went through was rough, man. I put a post on Instagram. I said I had to climb over a lot of sharp, pointy, hard ass rocks before I found the woman I was supposed to be with. So it's not easy, pal. It's not easy. But if you keep going, you work through it, you don't get too down. I mean, have your moments of feeling, depressed or worried that it's not going to happen, but then breathe, work through it, come out the other side, learn the lesson, and keep going. That's the game, is finding a way to put your one foot in front of the other, man. That's the game, always, in anything in life, dating or work or relationships, friendships, family, whatever. It's always about being able to put one foot in front of the other, even if it's a half a foot or a toe or a little bit of your foot. As long as you're moving forward, that's a positive. So, all right, that's enough for me. I'm going on my diatribe. I apologize. Yeah, be okay to be alone. Absolutely. That's rule number one. Be okay to be alone. Abso-fucking-lutely. The love line is open. Yeah, man. Woo! All right. Okay, that's it. I got to get out of here. You guys are fantastic. You guys are incredible. I appreciate it madly. I appreciate we had almost 100 people watching us live at some point during the night, but I appreciate you all. If you haven't hit a like button, please hit a like button on this right now. I got 120 likes. If you haven't hit that like button, I appreciate if you hit that. Oh, Josh Mabry, you sent in a super chat. I apologize, Josh. Let me go back and find it. He says, okay, now you have to do the next show with Roy Kent meets Jason Statham impression. You just did. Well done. Jason's more up here. Jason's higher up here. I'm not going to fuck up shit. You're going to fuck up shit. No. I'm the fucking man. Not you, Hobbs. I'm the fucking man. And then Roy's deeper. Roy's like, I'm not going to fucking do that. It's a deeper one with Roy, whereas Jason's up here. So, yeah, I could do that whole impression of both of them. Thank you. I appreciate that, Josh. Very kind of you to send that in. Simon Section says, I'll stick to 90 Days Fiancé. It's the only show that makes me feel good about being single. There you go, Simon. 90 Day Fiancé. What about Love at First Sight? I've seen that show. Woof. That is a crazy, crazy show. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. You guys are the best. For those of you who are watching later, and a lot of you do, please remember to hit a like button and leave a comment down below. likes in the comments elevate the visibility of this show and elevate people watching it and taking a chance on it who are watching my other content. They see the high numbers of views and comments. They go, oh, it must be something cool happening here. So jump on over and do that. Sorry we didn't talk about Whoopi Goldberg and cancel culture. We're out of time. I'll change the title of this show once we're done with it. And I'll try to put some chapters up if I can tonight, although I'm pretty fucking tired. I might put it up in the morning instead, but I'll put some chapters up for other people who are going to watch it later. But yeah, you guys are incredible. Thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight. I never know if people are going to show up when I do this show when it's just me, but I think I'm rolling more towards just doing it like this later at night and hanging out with you all. I kind of enjoy it. And if I can bring on guests to hang out for a little bit, then great. But I'm not trying to stress about guests anymore. It's just been too exhausting to book guests and get them to come on and do whatever. And sometimes it doesn't lead to great views, and sometimes it does. Just depends on the guest. So, this is the better way to go. But thank you all so much again for your Streamlabs and your Super Chat, especially Andrew, dude. Andrew, it's very kind. You didn't have to. So incredibly kind of you to send such a massive donation. It's mad love to you, brother, man. And we're happy to have you back in the Outlaw Nation. Can't wait to hear your voice in the Hangouts or see your face in the Hangouts or see what you like to put up, which is you hanging out with some tiger picture on the Hangouts when we do it on Zoom. So much love to you. Much love to everybody. Join me tonight. Be well. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Wear the masks. And like I say at the end of every show, and thanks to Sean Berto as well for producing the show. Help me produce the show. Thank you, Sean. But as I say at the end of every show, please, whatever you need to do to get through the next second, next minute, next hour, next day, next week, next month, next year, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do it. You never know what's waiting for you on the other side. As I said, let me serve as an example to you, man. I almost took my life in 2016. I was there. It was knife in hand. It was going to happen. And I found the strength to call a suicide prevention hotline that saved my life. And it changed my whole world. And look at all the things that happened as a result. Look at all that I've been able to do as a result. Has it all worked out the way I planned? No, but it's worked out way more often than it hasn't. So I feel that there's a gift there. And so there could be a gift for you in your life if you just keep moving forward. Just keep trusting yourself, believing in yourself, being patient with yourself. Love yourself like you would love your best friend, because you are your fucking best friend. That's really important. The hardest thing in the world to do is to forgive yourself, to understand yourself, to accept yourself, to let go of the criticism of yourself. Ask yourself, would you criticize your best friend the way you're criticizing yourself? If you want what's best for your best friend, if you want your friend to succeed, then why don't you want yourself to succeed? Why would you be lost in the hubris of wanting yourself to succeed? It's not hubris. It's love, self-love. Right? As a line in Henry V, self-love is not so vile a sin as self-neglect. And that's really important to remember. Yeah, the Dauphin says it was on the other side, but still, it's an important line to remember. It's an important line to remember. So just throwing it out there for you all to think about. And I have to remember this lesson too. Don't think that because I've walked through the valley of death and I'm come out the other side that there aren't days where I go right back into the valley. There are. Last week was a very, very tough week for me. A lot of the old demons came screaming back and messed with me and fucked with my nights of sleep and fucked with my doing shows and doing the hangouts with the Patreon. Really messed with me. But I got through it because I knew what I needed to do for myself. And I was hoping people would understand. That's the game. So just telling you, the fight is always ongoing. You just want to make sure that every day isn't a fight. So, and you can do that when you start to learn to take care of yourself and love yourself and be good to yourself. Doesn't mean you get cocky or arrogant. Just means you take care of yourself. And that's important. All right. That's it. I'm out of here. Much love to you again. Be well. Wear the mask, practice social distancing, and then come back and see us live next week with another brand new episode of the Outlaw Nation show. Much love to you. Take care. Be well. Peace.